I think that I actually did pretty good with my reading in January. I completed 4 books, and I started a 5th book, but since I was not able to finish that 5th book, I am putting it on hold and saving it for some other time. The first book that I finished in the month, I was about like 100 and something pages in, and from the time that midnight struck on New Year's Day to about 6 o'clock in the morning, I stayed up reading it. And that is Jacoby by William Ritter. Now, just to summarize this book, really all I need to say is that if you like Doctor Who and you like Sherlock, you'll love this book. I believe I gave it a solid 4 stars out of 5 on Goodreads, and I think that I might do a review on it. I'm not quite sure, but I might. The next book that I read in January is a book that everybody on BookTube has read, and I was probably the last person on BookTube to read it. And that is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Parkins. Now, I have heard on and on about how cute and fluffy and adorable this book is, and I have to agree it is absolutely all 3 of those things. I believe I gave this also a 4 stars out of 5 on Goodreads, because the main character did sometimes annoy me, because it seemed like all that she wanted was love? Really, when you're a teenager, especially when you've been sent away to a different country, you may never see these people again. You don't need to be thinking about love. You need to be focusing on your studies, or perhaps that's just me. Maybe I'm just a little party pooper over here or something. I'm never saying that word ever again. Never, ever, ever. The next book I read was bargain priced at Books A Million, and it had a nice cover, so I picked it up. And that is Every Day by David Levithan. This book is about someone named A, and every day that A wakes up, A is in a different body. A has no gender, A has no specific sexuality, A is just A, and A is everybody. One day, A meets, the girlfriend of somebody whose body he's in and falls in love with her. And every day, he tries to make his way back to her. I believe I gave this either 3 or 4 stars on Goodreads. There were a few things that just kind of annoyed me about the main character, but all in all, this was a really fun read, and I definitely recommend it. Now, this has another book that is coming out later this year, but I really believe this would have just been a good standalone. Nevertheless, I will pick up the second book, and I hope to God that I will enjoy it. The 4th book that I read in January is The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. Now, when this came out last year, I wanted to pick it up right away and read it, but I just couldn't. And then my best friend got it for me for Christmas, and I read it in January, and it was really good. I believe 4 stars again. 4 stars out of 5. It was not as good as the first book, which was this, The Fifth Wave, also by Rick Yancey. Not as good as this book, but still quite good. And the last book that I read in January is a book that I started but did not finish, and I didn't really even start it. I kind of started it in like a really weird place. And that is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I didn't read too much of this. It was, the last few days of the month, and I knew that I was not going to be able to finish it, but I did read some of it. And what I have read of it is really, really, really good, and I do plan on finishing it someday when I, am done with my TBR for that month. So these are all the books that I finished or started in January. Considering that I had school and everything, I'm quite proud of this, actually. Okay, on to my February TBR. The first book that I am reading this month, I am currently reading, and I am over 100 pages into it, is a book that yet again every single person in the entire world has read, except for me. And that is the first book of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief. I have heard so many good things about this, but the fact that I'm not into mythology has really just pushed me away from this. But I've now got the entire series, and I plan on reading it, and I'm actually really enjoying it so far. The only trouble with me is I feel like you can tell it's a middle grade book and not a young adult book. It kind of bothers me how the main character is just like,
"Oh, alright, you've got goat legs. That's cool, bro. That's cool. Oh, my dad isn't dead. He's just some god. Oh, that's cool. Oh my gosh, mythology is real. Cool. I'll go with it. Oh my gosh, my mother is, where is she? It's fine. Let's just go into this cabin. It's all good.
Percy is just a little too chill with everything, in my opinion. And also the fact that he is 3 years younger than me in this book. I'm not used to being older than the main character. Usually the main characters of the books I read are older than me. But nonetheless, I'm still enjoying it. The next book I plan to read is also one that I've already started, and that is Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. And I'm not very far into it, but I can't wait to get further into it. I really, really like it so far. The third book on my list is one that you may or may not be expecting. If you know me, you'll definitely expect it. But I am going to try to read Doctor Who: The Wheel of Ice by Stephen Baxter. Now, if you know me, I love Doctor Who a lot. The Doctor that this is centered around is the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton, and his two companions, Jamie and Zoe. The only episodes that I've watched with the second Doctor is The Mind Robber, which was bloody brilliant, by the way, and The Three Doctors. But I absolutely love him in both of those, and I really, really want to see more of him. Actually going to be reading a book with him. I can't wait to read it. Now, plot-wise, I'm not really sure about what this is about, but I'm just going to assume that it has to do with a wheel of ice. Perhaps the Wheel of Ice is the rings around a planet. I don't know. I'm going into it without knowing much about it. It's gonna be fantastic. The next book on my to-be-read list for February is one that I got in the mail last month. And if you watched my unboxing video, then you've already seen it. And that is The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. And looky there, it's signed. Now, I can't wait to read this. I've never read a book by Holly Black, although I have another one. Although I do have The Iron Trial by her and Cassandra Clare, which, by the way, is also signed by the both of them. And I've not read it, but I am planning to read it soon. So I can't wait to read this. Basically, I know about it is there's this glass coffin in the woods, and there's this boy in it with like horns, and he wakes up or something. I don't even know, but it sounds exciting. The last book on my list is a book that I picked from my book box. The book that I pulled from my book box was Exquisite Captive by Heather Demetrius. So basically what I think this is about is it's about genies and slavery or something. I don't even know. I'm going into it blind. But I won this in a giveaway, and it's signed. Okay. And now I have remembered that I read a book, but I don't remember when I read it. If I finished it last month or if I started it this month. I think I finished it this month. I'm quite positive that I finished it this month. I'm not sure, so I'm just going to put it on here anyways. That's Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I was like, I don't even know, like this far into it, right here. And then I read that much of it and finished it. So, ow. So yeah, I'm gonna put that onto this month's TBR. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 books. 6 books on this month's TBR. Am I going to be able to do it? I have a term paper on Edgar Allan Poe. And I've got all this homework and studying and will I be able to do it? I have no idea. But I am definitely going to try. I don't know why I'm so hyper right now. I honestly have no idea whatsoever. I don't even know. I'm gonna go, guys. So, my name is Tara. This is Riken Books. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to me if you want to be updated when I upload any more videos. And comment down below what you're planning to read in February, or if any of the books that I'm planning to read, you are also planning to read. And also tell me if these books that I'm planning to read are good. I would like to know if they are good before I read them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Alright. I just realized I forgot a book that I read last month. Murder on the Orient Express. Hold on a second. Oh, never mind. That's this month. I'm reading that this month. I don't even know if I finished that this month or last month. I'm so out of it. Okay, I'm gonna say that. We'll come back to that, alright? The next book that I read is a book that was for a bargain deal. A bargain. This book is about a boy. Well, I gotta get it back on the shelf. Okay. Oh my, what? Oops, let's get the tassel out of the way. Doctor Who, The Wheel of Ice by... Who is that? So I have another one. Just did a circle. All of my books up there just fell.